Anyways, we got ourselves another car here. I wanted to point something out in this car. We got here, it says find a solution. It says, I can barely afford a car, but I've managed to buy myself one. It doesn't start. Help me please, I only have $300 left and I need it working before I can show it to my parents. Now guess what, buddy? The key word here is this. Doesn't start. That means this is a no start. And a no start usually is because something's not working. Because to have an engine running, you need a fuel source, an air source, and some kind of ignition source, or that motor is never going to run. Okay, so I go by my protocol procedures that I follow for my shop practice, which is the OBD test automatically. So this is where that shop practice gets to pay off. Alright, now, to work. Now we're going to check the oil. Because right now there ain't nothing important in this motor just yet. Because if I go to get it started, something's got to lubricate the engine, right? This is why we always come down here and check this oil. Now, you know what? That's getting changed. That's all there is to it. Regardless. Nasty looking oil. Okay, so, well, since I did do the OBD test, let's take a quick look here, see what we got. Plug wires are totaled. Modulator is going out, but the plug wires are totaled. They have to be replaced. Now let's take a look at some of the stuff here. Might as well get it done. Okay. Alright. That get worn out, and it probably would have did. These get worn out, they kind of get plugged up on the inside and whatnot. But this guy's worried about the vehicle running. Now, what I like about how Red Dot is that they're giving some of these orange, because these here, you gotta remember, these are parts that are about to fail. In other words, become like these. But they're not there yet. Okay, so they're not needed to be replaced. If you replace them, that's on your own. You know, but it'll have no bearing on this game whether it quits or not. And if somebody else says it does, then they're wrong. It doesn't. What it was is that they got stuck, changed a bunch of stuff, and accidentally resolved the issue that they didn't know they resolved, and they assumed that they changed it. Changing out the orange part solved it, and it wasn't it. That's warm. That's warm. That's going to go out one day. Okay, well that takes care of that. All I want to do is I want to look at these plugs themselves. Well, for ignition source, none of those are going to start. This airflow condition, I'll tell you right now, the sensor is not going to work right. But it's still in an operating condition, so that doesn't matter. That's neither here or there. Let's see what kind of air system we got going here. Like this thing here, if this is worn out, like, you know, like an orange where it's going bad, then basically what happened is that it's got cracks and stuff in it. Dry rot. That filter's on its way being plugged. Okay. This cover has normal wear and tear, so it don't matter. Battery's not the best shape. Starter's normal wear and tear, so it'll be fine. So right now we're looking at an ignition system. So there's going to be wires. This is a 4-cylinder. So I'm going to need wires for a 4-cylinder and about 4 plugs. Now from back here, I can see that the fuel pump in that is not in the best shape. But it's no start. So right now I'm more interested in trying to get this thing to start and run. Once it starts and runs, we'll worry about everything else. While I'm underneath here, do some basic visualizations and look. And bushing shot. Ball joint needs to be replaced eventually one day. That one too. Bushing's going bad. So these are going bad. This represents the because you have a Preston bushing down here by this screw, and you got a ball joint. So this whole thing here is also wearing out, ready to go. Eventually it'll be bad. Okay. This is the representation of a pipe that's rusted out bad enough where tack welding is not really a good idea. As representation of a catalytic converter ready to be plugged. Same thing for this pipe being bad. Muffler's still good. That pipe is bad. The silencer's good. Control arm is still good. That's looking a little beat up too. Alright. And fuel pump ain't the greatest. But the fuel filter is fine. Okay. So right now, as the way it looks here, this will still deliver fuel. The fuel filter isn't plugged, so this is still going to work. So the car still has a fuel source. So right now we're just looking at the ignition being an issue. Let's bring it down. So everything's pretty much covered except for the plugs. The wires for them. Is that the wires? Yeah, they are. Those are the 6s. This is for the 4-cylinder. One of those. Ah, spark plug. 1, 2. Done. So, really, it's looking like that this vehicle is not starting because of a ignition power source to the vehicle.